who used to be a nice person that everybody liked, mostly. Okay, maybe nobody liked him. Tolerated. Goes on some inane rambling about war and some other stuff, and then just takes out his blade, which is hidden in his a compartment in his arm, and straight up attacks your guys' friend, his friend Ulthion, your host technically. By the way, your goodwill connection to this place that you are now staying.
That's correct.
Just all the implications that come with that, annihilating his reputation, his family's reputation, all in one fell swoop. Katarina attempts to cast a spell of some sort over him, of which Locke offhandedly just dispels it with a quick blast of his hand. Just boom, wizard power, wizard stuff. Stops it. Meanwhile, Trin's up on stage and pops a guitar string, bink, and at what's happening. And Godric, with food in his mouth, turns and like someone just falls and just bam, hits the ground. Oh. Everybody else is being extremely quiet and shocked because at the moment, as he's turning to like slam this dagger into Ulthion, the blade just starts moving towards you, and you can see this thing coming. Like everything has kind of like slowed for you. Luckily for you, you haven't quite dressed down since you've gotten here. Sure. So the blade ineffectively just slams into your breastplate. And the blade in his hand shatters against the mithril and just comes right off, flies off across you, and basically just hits, and then his arm hits you and comes across the front. And Locke spins to look at you. Because it seems like he can't really figure out what he's supposed to do next in this attack. The eyes, the reddish light behind the eyes kind of flickers and then comes back that brightish blue as it flicks back in place. Then after about what feels like an eternity, but is only like maybe 3 or 4 seconds, you're able to... He loosens his grip of the back of your head, and then you step backwards and reach for a sword that isn't on you. But like, you set your sword and your shield down and put them in the home. And everybody just kind of gasps, and people start whispering amongst each other. There's like, was this a show, or nobody's really sure what's going on because it's so out of place and unlike anything that happens in these sort of situations on the Eredor. So what do you all do?
Stunned, I take a step back. Just this bewildered look on my face.
Something isn't right.
I'm gonna move up behind Locke. Depending how far I am, I'll start moving towards Locke.
Okay.
What did I do?
I think you tried to kill me, Locke.
Why would I do that?
I don't have an answer for you.
I think I should leave this place.
I think you should put your hands down. Godric. I know your loyalties may lie elsewhere, but I need you to restrain your brother.
I was already planning on it. Whatever happened, I've seen this before. And it wasn't Locke, it was, Brittle. The problem is...
I think we can tell these stories later.
So, after just in a few seconds further, your master at arms, Ginferin, your guards, Agnor and Fanway, and Burf's father, Dorglar, all come running outside and from the various parts of the compound. And one of them starts. You can hear that someone was shouting for the town guard to be raised. Several of the attendants have, in fact, unsheathed their weapons, as it looks.
I'll turn towards the elves and leave Godric to deal with Locke, and I'll just put my hands up. All will be fine. This is a simple cultural misunderstanding. Please, go back to the festivities. Let's bring out... I'll turn and look at one of the servants. Let's bring out an older vintage. I'll return shortly. And I'll just head back inside, specifically to where my sword and shield are.
Locke, can you move, or am I moving you? Well, let's get...
Still kind of floating off the ground.
That's why yeah. Let's get moving. We need to go somewhere else. What happened? Whispering, of course.
I don't know. We were celebrating, weren't we? I was trying to stay quiet and away.
No, you were... we were celebrating. You were off brooding.
Right, I was trying to stay away.
Why?
This place puts me on edge. I don't like it here.
Locke, look at me. You have never done this before. I have maybe had my anger at you and felt like I couldn't trust you. But deep down I did. This is the first time I've ever doubted you. What happened? Every detail, please.
So despite the fact that Ultion asked everybody to basically make this go away, nobody's listening. And it's just not happening. The festivities are not going to go back to normal. Everybody is staring intently at what the occurrence that just happened and talking amongst themselves. And nobody's putting their weapons away. That's not happening. It looks like.
I'm gonna reach up and kind of pat Locke on the back.
What are you doing, Trin? While they're over there having this conversation, whispering amongst themselves.
Oh, the music stopped.
Well, it stopped when he was giving the speech. So.
It stopped when he was giving the speech. So I don't really know. I'm kind of staring in shock.
So Trin's shocked as well. And he's just up there staring with this one curled string. You know.
Yeah, a broken string. Yeah, these aren't easy to come by.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna pat him on the back, I guess, and kind of like push him towards your estate and loudly yell, apparently Elven Ale can affect you. You did something I would. You tried to test his armor. And I'll start pushing him towards the estate.
The last I remember, I was just watching everyone eat.
Yeah, make a deception roll.
Yeah, I'm sure your charisma score is fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, it's fucking fire, bro.
Fire.
That's your heritage, not your charisma.
Deception?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my luck die on that.
Oh, we all have,
Yeah.
well, not
use your
all.
luck?
No, we all do have
Yep.
No,
legendary luck.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Natural 20.
Whoa.
I'm glad
Wow,
that
from
means
what was a
nothing.
4 the
It
first
means
time,
he
right?
got as good as he ever could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an instant success, but it's still really good.
The max I could ever roll.
Yeah.
So
Best you can do.
Best I could do.
Anybody who was watching this, I didn't drink anything.
That's not the goddamn point.
You can lie like a master, but people believe their eyes.
The fucking else. Fuck off. Shut up.
So nobody says anything at first, but as you're walking by, you hear someone say, "They're like, I just can't drink and eat. What are you talking about?" But nobody says anything.
Yeah.
You just want to take them inside?
Yeah, I'm gonna take him to. If I see Ulfion, I'm gonna ask him, is there a room I can put him in?
Okay.
Yeah, my sword and shield were just inside the doorway anyway.
I'm gonna discreetly set my instrument down and start making my way around outside of the group towards the villa.
Okay.
With sword and shield in hand, I'll just turn and look over at Locke and Godric. I may have just picked up the title of War Master, but I am still sworn to uphold the laws. Locke, you brought a weapon. I understand if maybe it was attached, but you did not disclose that it was there, and my people will not see it as an accident. So, and then I look Godric in the eyes when I say this. Locke, I hereby place you under arrest.
I
No.
push Locke behind me. I'm sorry, what? And I'm gonna walk up and put my face in yours.
So eighth one comes out. She's like, the Warforged did what to you?
He broke his dagger on my armor, dear.
He was not himself. Something did something.
I understand, and perhaps they'll take that into consideration in a tribunal.
No, we have more important things to do.
Locke, shut up. You did wrong, accept it.
I am leaning back a little bit from Godric's
Yeah.
massive form.
Well, he's leaning over to look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah, I'm like,
Barely even fits in the home. He's
I'm not
huge.
trying to cause any problems here, and I don't want to do this. But if I don't, we will lose the entirety of the goodwill we have with my people. It's a political move, if anything, Godric.
I won't let this happen. I won't endanger him in any way.
So eighth one just goes, and how do you plan on stopping us?
Die.
No. No, you won't. You won't die. You might think that you will. But that's not going to happen. He just assailed a lawmaster and a holy individual in his own right. It's an attack on him, it's an attack on our God.
And
You don't understand. There aren't just going to be guards coming here to arrest him if Ulthion doesn't place him under arrest. One of the dragons will arrive and take him away.
Godric just smiles. Doesn't
You
say
are
a
a
word.
fool. You are a fool, and you're not welcome here. Leave our property. I won't be allowing you to do anything while you're here. Ulthion, tell him he has to leave. Where's the goblin? He's of sounder mind, and we know that he's with the Silver Choir. He'll listen. He understands the politics.
I just look
Leave.
back and
Now.
done. And I pick up Locke.
No, he
You
stays.
told me to leave. I'm leaving.
Yes, you.
Godric,
You're
What?
leaving.
Put me down.
please.
At this
Leave.
point, you see, like, I'm starting to get angry. My tattoos are starting to glow.
Mhm.
I'm starting to, like, roll my shoulders.
Are you an idiot? Were you
Yes.
dropped on your head?
Probably.
He just assaulted somebody. That's not acceptable here. This isn't acceptable behavior. He has to answer for what happened. Ulthion is doing him a favor, you buffoon. If he arrests him, his word is law. He's doing you a favor,
Put me down.
but you need to leave. You're causing problems. You're going to disrupt everybody and ruin what's happening by conflicting with this.
Ulthion.
Your actions will be used against him in court.
Completely ignore her. Ulthion. Look me in the face. Promise me he'll be alright.
He can't make you that promise.
I'm asking him. Just-
Again, he cannot make you that promise.
Just promise.
Ulthion,
that
you know that you can't make that promise. Alatrari sees all. You cannot make that promise. He has to answer by our laws, and we know how to navigate this system. I will reach out to my father, and we will find out exactly what needs to be done. Because if we can convince everybody, if he leaves and stops shouting, because everybody can hear him anyways, then we can possibly just handle this at the local level. But he has to go. He's ruining everything. He doesn't understand our ways. None of them do.
Godric,
Yes.
I will send message to Inara, and she will come help us as a family
Then
friend.
do this. You can't guarantee it. At least say you'll try. Because I know you are good by your word, and I will trust that.
Godric, I will enforce Alatrari's law to the letter.
Set me down.
That's all I can promise. What he has done is not necessarily considered punishable by death. The elves don't tend to work that way.
What happens when someone is controlled or does something beyond their control? How does that factor into your law?
We'd have to prove that that's what happened. I'm sure if that is the case, then an exoneration is absolutely possible.
At very minimum, banishment.
It
I
is
would like
likely
to
he will never
leave
step foot here
and
again.
never come back.
No, you don't understand. You're under his protection. He might not be allowed to come back either. Banishment doesn't just apply to you when you break the rules. He brought you all here underneath our family's protection. The only reason you're even allowed to leave the city to begin with is because Ulthion vouched for you, and then this happens.
I'll look past at one of the servants. Go, get the goblin, please.
So, one who had come up to the door to follow you, kind of turns and goes, "Yes, War Master, sorry." And he just turns and he goes and comes finds you, Trent. He's like, "Your presence in being requested inside the main villa." Sees you like skulking around the outside.
Oh,
You know.
oh no. Oh, fine. I'll come. Take me away.
No, your friends want to talk to you.
Oh,
Please,
okay.
quickly.
Okay. Start like trotting after him.
I put Locke down.
Locke, I'm going to
So
appeal.
Aethelwyn's like, "I need you to leave. You're not welcome in our home at the moment. For threatening us and threatening the lives of elves in Eredor, you have to leave the property. You'll find a small inn down with the second-class citizens in town.
I think
They'll
I need
take
to
you
go
in.
stretch my legs anyway.
Yes, I'm sure. Whatever helps you think that you're in control of the situation. Please go.
Have a great day.
Life."
Locke, I'm going to appeal to your logic and education. You don't know what happened, correct?
It is unclear, but I assume everyone's telling me the truth.
My point is, if you allow us to take you into custody, an investigation into what happened will occur, and you may find answers.
The longer I'm here, the worse this is going to be, I feel, and I should leave.
My grip on my sword tightens just a little bit. It's not that simple, Locke. Leaving is probably what will happen, but there are other things at stake here.
Like what?
Like my ability to come home to my people, ever. Like the loss of an army and an alliance in a war that we're desperately trying to fight.
So Trin comes inside through the side door.
Trin, please try and speak reason to Locke.
Locke? What's the matter with you? As I step forward and I shove him in the knees. You stupid bama boats! What are you doing? Ulthion's your friend!
What? I don't know what happened. This
What do you
whole,
mean you don't know what happened? You don't even drink!
This whole place is
Uh,
chaos. I
it's-
can't stay here.
This place is chaos. You made the scene! You're why it's chaos! What do you mean you can't stay here? What's going on?
How
God,
do
our
none
storm's
of you
past you
feel it?
leaving.
How do none of you feel it? Are the elves just
Are you sick?
blind
Do you
to it?
have a robot sickness?
Locke, you're feeling something that no one else feels because it's endemic of you, not us.
I don't think so.
I have spent 400 years under the tutelage of the Seldarine, and you would lead me to believe that I'm blind to something as damning as a corruption or a curse on my lands?
In the same way that people born in Samaria just know that war is right and good and righteous. You are born and raised here, and you can't feel it like I do, and this place isn't right.
Why did you try and stab him?
I don't know. I didn't do it. I
That's-
did do
That's
it,
not
but
the answer.
I didn't do it. I did it, but it wasn't me. I don't know what to tell you.
In thousands of years, you're not the only Warforged to have stepped foot on Eridor.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm special.
Yes, you're the first one we've arrested. I have to take him into custody, Trin.
What?
Should think of it more as a temporary house arrest. Really, you should stay here in the compound for at least the day so that we can arrange for Ultheon to be able to present the case of why you shouldn't be put in one of our deeper prisons forever for us attacking our god.
Well, what?
You attacked a direct agent of a deity. It was an attack on the church.
So, Ultheon, you're saying... So, Locke, you're saying that you feel something funny, right? Are you trying to say that's the weave? Is that what you think is funny? What are you feeling? I'm trying to understand.
Yes, the weave. This whole place.
And so that drove you to attack Ultheon?
Maybe. Everything is...
I've practiced magic for 300 years. I denied a position at the Academy of Magic. There's nothing wrong with the weave in Eridor.
You're wrong.
No, we are not. You are wrong.
You're too close to it.
No, this is indicative of something that's far beyond magic and the weave and Mitra and our control over it. This isn't corruption from the Formless One. This is something indicative of a greater issue in you, Locke, with your connection to the weave. Is he trying to tell us that A, he has had no idea that this was possible, that B, he's had nothing strange occur other than this innate, vague feeling that something is awry that no one else feels or has experienced? When we know that the weave works the same here as it does anywhere else, spied from the spell destruction, which, again, is hundreds of miles from here.
It's a spell destruction, not a spell corruption, Locke.
Yes.
This discussion is meaningless. Honestly, you probably shouldn't say anything until you've spoken to an investigator.
Given that you don't seem to have much control over yourself, it might be... I've heard of the dampeners that can...
No.
Restrict access. Maybe it might make you feel better, like a little separation from you and whatever this is.
I won't be muted.
It doesn't matter, I don't have anything like that
You
here.
don't have a choice if that is what they decide to do. Do you not understand this? Do you believe that you are a god incarnate walking amongst the lands? You are mortal and vulnerable the same as all of us.
He is.
I am not a god.
He is not a god.
Then I didn't attack him, did I?
No, it's an attack on him. He's an avatar of. Ultheon to claim he is Alatrari incarnate would be heretical and frowned upon.
It doesn't matter. The point is, the best thing you could do in this situation is help us figure out what did happen.
Are you sure that nothing out of the ordinary has happened since you came here? Nothing at all. No encounters with strange objects or people, or premonitions or visions, anything that could have happened that would explain this.
Yes. Something did happen.
This is not the place for this conversation.
It is.
Well, it seems like the guards are clearing out all the guests and everybody is heading home. So this is about as private as it can get at the moment.
What did you see then, Locke?
Something in the distance. A calling. It's hard to describe. you might have a better idea. Something
We would have no idea. Are you saying that the goddess of magic Mitria reached out to you and caused this to happen? Because that's what it sounds like you're making the argument for.
Who knows? I don't have any contact with the goddess, as far as I know.
This is a baffling group of individuals that you've brought here, Old Leon.
Yes, well, this particular instance was an outlier. I didn't even know he was capable of such.
I shouldn't have been able to hit you that hard.
What do you mean? You're made of...
Days ago, I was asking for your help in learning even technique with weapons. I carry this dagger because it's part of me, not because I actually intend to use it. And I certainly don't have the strength normally to shatter steel.
Yes, well, that could have been the magic of my armor.
Alachari's protection.
I just need you to agree to take part and to help us as we figure out what happened. And to stay here while we do that.
Something strange happened because that scratch there is perfectly where your heart is, and I never would have struck that true on my own.
Well, that's not gonna win you any points. But maybe if Locke, you stay here, I know it's uncomfortable, but if being uncomfortable and working your way through it might provide some insights as to why this is happening. This doesn't sound like the other concerns that I had. But
Doesn't it, though?
just the way it manifested, it just seems so odd, unless it's some sort of strange side effect
What?
of your mind being split or affected.
Well, if we want to figure it out, I assume imprisonment is
Again, it's a house arrest. You stay here at the estate while Ultheon contacts the mayor and the town guard.
Or I can leave.
You cannot leave. How do you plan on leaving this place?
I'll just leave. I'll teleport away. They'll find their way.
You just teleport away. Just like that.
Yes.
And what happens if...
Hold on, do you maybe want to explain to your friends the sort of magical barriers and protections we have in the city and the surrounding regions?
There is a reason we use the Waygate lock, and no other means of magical transportation. You saw the...
Another layer of protection on this place. Yeah, there are too many. That's what is throwing me off. Chaos. Layers of gloss over broken land. It's not good. This place is not good.
People
and you
thrive.
should all leave. All of you.
Yes, well, that's what the Moon Elves say.
And they're correct. Because when I'm in their city, I feel the weave in peace. True harmony.
The weave is
There's
the
nothing
same
wrong
in
with the
either
weave
place.
here.
We have...
You are the
we
most
have
out of
mages
place
here
thing.
who make your powers look insignificant, Locke.
Well, the difference between the mages and Locke
I feel it.
himself is he's innately
I can't explain it. I just...
magical.
You're telling me there's no chance that what you sense is something wrong with yourself.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying there is certainly something wrong here.
Well,
Well, we can't fix here, Locke.
Trent, as a part of the Order of the Silver Choir, could you not find someone friendly to the cause to possibly assist us in getting him more information than he has available? We don't carry much historical documentation or history into Warforged, as they don't... Eridor is one of the few places in the world where they don't actually seem to have been. Or you can't find them in the wilderness, overgrown by shrubs and vines. Is there somebody that you might be able to reach out to?
Yeah, there's someone I can think of. I won't be able to have that information instantly. but I can definitely work on it. It seems worthwhile given the circumstances.
And who?
It's this tinkerer I know that works for the cause and is obsessed with Warforged and their place in history. He likes clockwork and different magical designs. Barnaby is his name. I can definitely try and reach out to him.
Well, send this Barnaby a message and see if he might be available to arrive. It might take too long for him to get here, but if that's the case, then you can always tell him his services aren't needed. Really, all we need is any form of precedent that this is something that happens with them, or has happened with them before. Warforged are already rare enough as it is, but either way.
But Barnaby would know. If not him, some of his friends that explore the same field. He would know where to get the information if he doesn't have it himself directly. Okay. I'll do that.
As I just kind of step to the corner, and I cast sending.
Okay. All right. Altheon, word will spread. You being a war master and a representative of Alatrari and his will, they won't come here in force. More than likely, they will send a representative to inquire as to what happened, and we will handle everything that needs to be here. But you're gonna have to tell them your version of what happened,
Of course.
obviously.
Well, you're agreeing to stay here while we figure this out, yes?
Why not?
You're giving me your word, correct?
Yep. I am.
At least for now, always in sound mind.
Look, more so than my reputation or the mission or anything at stake, I need you to understand. This is my home. The people that I love most in all of the world reside here. And whether or not you understand love or how it may operate, I'm telling you right now, if you utter a single incantation, attempt to leave, or your eyes turn red again, I will end you. I do not say this lightly, but I need you to understand that it is the truth.
I should probably send word for our son to stay where he is. It's not going to be safe for him here.
Yes, please.
I'll do so. She leaves the room. As she's leaving, she turns. Your friend, the Goliath, he won't set foot on these grounds, and he will not be allowed to see you until this is done. It's for the best that he stays away from you while people are watching. And then she just leaves the room.
Well, she's speaking out of anger, but don't worry. If it matters, she's not a lawmaster. The Endelvian Accords 300 years ago allow family to attend these things, and I may be able to argue that Godric is your brother. But for now, she's right, and I'm going to honor her wishes. I do not like the place Godric and her put me in. It's not their fault, it's yours.
You should get me out of here.
You should learn to control yourself, regardless of where you are.
You should places.
Hurting my feelings isn't going to win you any points.
I'm
Let me
trying
show
to
you.
hurt your feelings.
I'm going to
trying
show
to
you
help
to
you.
your lodging. I'll step back and just point down the hall with my sword.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll lead you down the hall to a secondary room we have. A guest room, pretty much. And all of these comforts here, I understand that they're not going to matter to
Necessary.
you, yes, but I'm trying to show you that even through my frustration, I'm not trying to hurt you or put you in a terrible place.
There am
That remains to be seen. I'll step back.
I. Do you really believe I would do that on my own?
I didn't until you did it. Do I think some magics were at play? Very possibly. There are a lot of eyes on us. But conjecture doesn't matter right now. Proof is what will be needed.
There are a lot of witnesses to what I did, and
That's
I
true.
won't deny what I did.
Well, any of the witnesses that truly respect the laws of Alatrari and the Silverine, and that should be most, if not all of them, will be truthful in their telling.
Yes. Isn't that the problem? Who's gonna know what my intentions were other than myself?
Nobody
I
will
don't.
speak to your intentions. They will speak to your actions.
My actions were I tried to stab you.
Right.
Seems pretty clear what the outcome of that is going to be.
It's much more nuanced than that.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
My position seems fairly undefensible.
You don't think that the Dark Elves ever use a mind-controlling magics, and that sometimes we fall prey to that?
I felt no magic of that sort, and I'll
Sure.
say so.
Understandable, but there are myriad magics. You're not an expert in all of them.
Maybe not. No one is.
No, but we can find one that is an expert in the right field. Trent's going to send for his friend. His partner, I don't know, colleague. I don't know how long this is going to take, but for people like you, I don't think that matters.
I won't speak to it again, but you have my opinion.
Yes, I do. And I'm not going to sit you down and explain to you thousands of years of history that tell me why I know you're wrong. I am going to put a guard outside your door. If you need anything, you can speak to them. If they treat you poorly in any way, please tell me. Instead of just disintegrating them, it would be
And if I
a very bad problem.
go rampant again,
I told you what would happen. I will not hesitate, I can't. Not here. I'm sorry.
you should be glad that nothing actually happened. You know, as well as I do, that I could have hurt a lot of people.
That is true. But what you don't understand yet is that a lot of things happened.
Something is happening to me.
Well, Trent did mention severing you from magic. That is something they are capable of doing. I guess you'll have to decide whether your connection to the Weave is more important than the lives of your friends. And I'll leave.
There's a cold clack of the door being shut and the latch being thrown. And then you hear Ulthion muttering something to two other individuals on the other side of the door. and then quiet. Absolute quiet.
Alright, so I'll sit cross-legged, middle of the floor, start studying my spell book since I'm in prison. I have nothing else to do.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll go back to Trin. Well, he's gone. I'll go back to Trin.
I draw this.
You sent the message?
Who knows if I use it.
Yeah, I did. No, it's just a waiting game, I suppose. He's pretty passionate, so I imagine we'll probably hear back soon.
It's Barnaby.
Yeah. He has a tinkery. The buyers used him for various resources from help with things like golems to little, I don't know what they're called, but little machines, but they mimic creatures. And he said that a lot of wizards and stuff will use them for help around their alchemists.
Oh,
tables and
yes, like
stuff
a
like that.
homunculi.
Yeah, it was something like that. He called them his pets, though. Oh, like I said, he's passionate.
As long as he is, well, as long as he truly knows his field. I don't think Godric would listen to me right now, and I don't think Locke cares, but I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I hope you at least understand that.
Well, I know we're trying to help him. He doesn't seem to know what really happened.
I know.
Oh,
He seems so
Except
dead
for what he
center
did
for
not
someone
make
who
one.
didn't actually experience what went on. Like
No,
he's confident in the failure of it all.
he's a powerful mage, but he doesn't have the learned understanding of other wizards. I mean, by his own account, he's both ageless and yet also only about a decade old, as far as experience goes. He doesn't understand magic academically. I think there's more of an intuition. And if he doesn't understand what's happening here or anywhere else, I don't think he'd have the ability to vocalize the problem. The magic here is not corrupt or corrupting. It doesn't poison anything around it. The spell destruction is, for lack of a better term, a large vortex of elemental energy pulling apart Terrowyn in small amounts.
Maybe it's not the spell destruction. You said it's hundreds of miles away. Maybe it's something else. I get what you're saying, and I know there's a lot of experience in the room,
As I like look back towards where your wife left.
but I think it would be a mistake to forget or lose sight of Locke, the nature of what Locke is, or who Locke is.
I think we've just discovered we don't know what the nature of Locke is.
I
For all
don't
we
think
know,
that
this is
was
something
Locke.
inside him anyway, an insidious part of him ready to act at specific triggers. The Dark Elves occasionally plant, sleeper agents here. It's not always so easy to differentiate between the Blood Elves and the Dark Elves. And sometimes they won't even know they themselves are these agents. Sometimes a Blood Elf is captured and spells are cast upon him, digging deep into his brain only for him to act out in violence later. It's why we have the guards patrolling the streets. We don't need to police ourselves. We're not a threat to our society.
Well, it feels like that goes so against the core of who Locke has seemed to be. He's not a murderous person. That's not how he solves things. He's gotten mad, but nothing like that.
Everything that he uttered in that moment, it was vitriolic. There was a hatred in it. It wasn't a lesson being taught, not truly. It felt like a seething anger, a hatred.
Yeah, you can hate things or systems, but we're friends. We've been going through it. What stuff we've done is the only reason he exists right now, to be upset. He wouldn't try and murder one of us because he's mad at a government.
I understand. I haven't lost my trust in him as a person. I've lost my trust in his ability to control himself.
Or whatever that is, because that is nothing like the Locke that we know,
I agree.
and he doesn't even remember. So it's hard to say that is him. That might be something else altogether. The nature of the Warforged is a bit of a mystery. There's a reason lots of people don't know all that much about them to begin with.
True.
But I think it's one of those things where, yeah, he's going to be uncomfortable and he's going to hate every second of it, but we got to drag him through this kicking and screaming, because only on the other side will he be better. I'm hoping that maybe being here and staying uncomfortable might shed some light on what's affecting him, or why, or how.
What about the bigger picture? What about the fact that what's most important right now is the orbs and dealing with Takesis? Are we stating that as a member of Thunder Dangerous we can't do it without him, or are we willing to accept that at some point we may need to choose to do it without him?
I'm willing to walk down the path until that decision has to be made. Cross that bridge when we come to it, kind of thing. We wouldn't be doing the right thing or pursuing this effort in the first place if we weren't decent to those next to us, our friends.
That's a luxury, I suppose.
I say it's a necessity. We have to try. Otherwise, if you just let people fall off, there will be no one there at the end.
Would you sacrifice your life to stop Takesis?
Yes, I would sacrifice my life to stop Takesis.
Well, what if Locke just did? What if his actions just caused him to sacrifice his life for our cause?
You're attributing this to somehow supporting our cause.
Yes,
That's not
it slows us
necessarily-
down. We're focused on him instead of our next move. We're battling each other from the inside as opposed to our enemies outside. I'm stating, if... I do not want you to take this callously, but I think you will. If the ultimate decision between saving Terrowyn or you came down to that choice with me, you die.
Well, that's fine, because I would just come back to life. But we're not talking about me, we're talking about Locke. And
So Aethlin comes in. I've arranged for our Ravlar to stay at the Asilior estate for a few days more.
Thank you.
I've told them that I have become a slight bit ill and that he should stay there.
It's probably for the best. Locke has haphazardly agreed to stay on the grounds. Specifically, I have him in the second guest room. I'm truly sorry, love. I had no idea something like this could happen.
I assume you didn't, because I wouldn't assume that you'd allow him to come here if that was the case. If he was an unpredictable danger to all around him, I assume that you wouldn't have allowed him to come with you, or allowed any of them to leave the city. My one concern, though, is that You had to have known that the Goliath was too bullheaded to be allowed out of the city, that he was dangerous in his own right.
There are balances and pieces I have to keep. I thought with him close to me that I might be able to keep him a bit more level-headed, and I think I could have. Locke and Godric are thoroughly bonded. They may not be any more different than anyone could be, but they consider themselves brothers in the highest sense.
Well, they might not realize it at the moment, but we saved them a great deal of trouble and issues and perceptions. Ultimately, we know that when the Magister arrives or his representative does, you will just simply state the facts are is. If we have assistance from outside, at least somebody to say that this Warforged had this happen before, it would be fine. But ultimately, your title change does in fact kind of change the way that everyone will perceive you regardless. If you were still just the Lawmaster, you could say, or have said, this is the end of the line, I am passing judgment, and I deem him acting out of his own accord.
You're right.
And they would have accepted it as such, it wouldn't be a problem.
Time
That being said, if worse comes to worse, they will send a Lawmaster here. It will come with an escort, assume that he is dangerous, prepare for him to be dangerous, and then we will have to have the tribunal in Mensrathis.
We're wasting valuable time, but we'll handle it.
I believe that we will be fine. As long as he stays here in the room, and the Goliath stays away from him for the time being. We at least need the representative to come and go and report to the magistrate.
Right. If they're forced to stay separate, it could make both of them a bit more volatile.
Either way. Then whatever actions are taken because he's volatile is on him, and he'll have to face his own forms of justice.
That's true.
We are a nation of warriors, not a nation of moon elves who are soft to the ways and arts of war.
That's true. You're right. I'm not taking Godric's side in your discussion with him at all. I hope you understand that. I was quiet. I was still trying to process what happened. Not only that, but process what the right move was next. I need to pray.
I also sent word to my father. He should be sending his considerations and weighing in on the matter as well. Here very promptly. That would go very far for us. Your father has been just gone, so he'll have to find out about this through some other form, someone will have to reach out to him and find where he is to begin with. He hasn't been back to the estate since before you left, either way. I assume he's coming to the end of his days very shortly.
I imagine so.
He's already started experiencing his final visions before he left. His past lives.
You mentioned something similar to that before I last left, but that's too much on... I don't know if I can deal with that as well at the moment.
Either way, I don't believe it will come down to banishment. As long as he speaks truthfully, the fact that as a lawmaster you brought them here to the city under your protection, and this happened at the private estate, I don't believe it will have to come to banishment, imprisonment, or any of the such.
If it had happened in the city, it would have been far worse.
But either way, it'd be more than likely they would never be allowed to leave the city again when they come through here again.
Right. Well, hopefully Trin's colleague gets back to him fast enough and we can move on and at least learn something from this. That
What spell did you use to communicate with your contact?
Used sending.
Sending?
My own little spin on it, but yeah, it's sending.
I guess it's better than nothing.
Well, I have another way. But I'm a little tense to use it.
why?
Because I need to be relaxed to use it. Well, you gotta have a certain state of mind, you see, and it's a little dependent on their state of mind as well. Because,
Well, then perhaps you should get a night's rest. See if maybe you feel at least a little more relaxed in the morning.
here,
Yes, you're more than welcome.
alright, I'm gonna take my book and do some reading.
As I hold up Thalen's book, and I'm gonna go find a room.
Trin, before you leave, I have to ask that you have no contact with Locke. Not even I will have contact with him.
I would like a hug goodnight.
Especially not a hug goodnight.
I feel lonely here. You feel so bad.
Yes, well,
What about Patrick? Someone should go check on him. Maybe not you. Send Katarina.
maybe, I don't know. I'm shuddering to think about what he might be doing right now. He is without escort. Either way, the guest room is not far from here. Just please, no contact with Locke.
Okay, but I'm gonna cast some magic. Not to luck, just magic. Spells.
Enjoy. Hope it's all the best magic.
Only the best.
I'm gonna go find that room he's talking about, so I can cast Dream.
Interesting.
Okay. You realize when you're kind of walking, and because of the nature of the design, it's mostly just columns on the outside that lead to like the front property where everything happened. Katarina's not there.
No, dear. Hopefully she went with him. Or she ran. And she's alone and we're all gonna get arrested. Oh, I can handle it.
You just hear me going down all.
We're all gonna be arrested.
Random people.
I find Patrick.
All right.
Yeah.
You know the place.
The tavern.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll head that direction.
The
Master at Arms on the way out.
Yeah. Gunfarren.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gunfarren.
Are you all right, Master Otheon?
I'm
There's quite a disturbance in display of power, and
physically fine.
your armor seems damaged, which is strange. It's made of mithril. Why would it be harmed?
It'll mend, I'm sure. One way or another. There is a tinkerer coming, hopefully, but it's besides the point. I need to find the Goliath. While I'm doing that, no one is to have any contact with the Warforged. And if he is detected trying to cast any sort of magics, treat him as a threat to the estate.
I saw that you already posted Agnor and Fenway to the front door.
Yes. They have... Well, Fenway has an ear for magic, so hopefully that helps.
I can call up some of the other guards. They were only given the night off to enjoy the festivities. A few have left and were sent to Mendrathis.
Yes, only the few of the more dedicated ones, though.
I will keep the town's guard at an arm's length.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Please
However-
make sure they're only speaking to either myself or Aethwin.
However, I will say that I don't believe the Goliath headed into town. And he kind of looks at the ground. He's like, well, the tracks here, they lead straight off and head into the forest on the outskirts of the estate. Also, following them seems to be smaller footprints, more than likely from a younger female.
You know what, then maybe I'll stay here. Katerina has a way about her.
Well, Ulthion, since you've been gone, we had a run-in with a couple of larger Sorwin Ents in the force. So if the Goliath went out there alone, it's possible that he could run into such dangers in the forest on his own. We
I
had
have to
called a
respect-
priestess to come and quell them, but she's been slow in arriving.
For the night, I think I'll respect Godric's choice. He's an adult, and as such, he can make an adult decision and accept the consequences. Can't protect everyone. For the night. Honestly, I'm worried the Warforged is going to go destructive again. Aethwin's got good magic. The guards are skilled. Trends here. I don't know what to do.
Well, if there is another sort of incident, then maybe it'd be short like the first one.
True.
There is nothing or no one who interfered with him. He stopped on his own. At least
That's
from
true.
where I observed. Of course, I was standing back and behind. But, I mean, we're talking an incident which lasted all of about... Well, I guess the actionable part of it was all of, like, 3 or 4 seconds. If that. He should be fine. If he destroys the guest room, we could repair that.
I'm not worried about the physical estate. I'm worried about the people on it.
I don't believe he would harm anybody.
He shouldn't.
He selected you as a purposeful target. It stands to reason that he would come back to you as a target again, for some reason.
Perhaps that's true. Well, then maybe it's best if I'm outside of the state for now, and I need to make sure... I don't think Godric understands our laws nearly enough to... He's going to go into the woods and do something stupid and think they won't notice.
Well, the tracks are fairly clear. They're heading over there.
Yes.
He was carrying... Let's say walking with purpose, it seems, as he kind of pulls his hands up from the footprints in the ground.
I see them. Your read is far better than mine, though. All right. Please let Aethwin know where I've gone.
Will do, Master Ulthion.
Thank you. And yeah, I'll follow the footprints then.
You follow the footsteps across your property now towards a kind of cloister of ancient trees that are kind of sitting at the edge of the property of the estate. And that's disruptive.
I just want to see what they do. It's on the TikTok. You put your hand out and see what they do. Sorry. I love you.
You're lucky it's about to be your scene or give you a timeout. Anyways.
You're like, man.
Timeout.
Here we go, another Ulthion scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know what
God
you're getting
forbid.
into when you decide to come to my home.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You made this.
I did. I prolonged our stay.
Hey.
That's what
I know.
I love
Anyways,
you, Sasha.
He wanted more time. family. That's what this is all about.
As you're approaching kind of the edge of the woods, the first thing you see Katerina kind of sitting at the base of the tree and just reading her father's wizard notebook, his spell book. And she kind of just looks up to you and just points into the woods.
Thank you. As I walk by her.
After another couple of minutes, you find Godric kind of standing in the woods. He has kind of just is staring down this kind of large tree. And you can see he's kind of walked through this very small glade, this just very small, maybe 20 feet or so worth of like just space at the base of this large tree. And some of the late evening and late night phosphorescent like mushrooms and stuff are kind of glowing and filling this space. And you've been here dozens of times. This is not your first time coming to this spot. And this spot is usually a very tranquil place for you to come and relax. Picnics or just a great place to come and clear your head at times. And yeah, he's just kind of just standing there. His fists are clenched, and he looks like he's breathing heavy, but it doesn't look like he's done anything since he's been here. I mean, with his bare hands, even as big as he is, that's a lot to ask. I mean, he left all of his weapons and stuff in Mendrathis, luckily.
Yeah, luckily.
But man, he's just there, kind of standing in the middle of this glade.
Just kind of look at him for a minute, and then I'll set the sword and shield against the tree and walk into the clearing. How you doing, big guy?
This place. It's calming me. It's helping. A little bit. It's helping a little bit. Jesus, wrong voice, sorry. But I am still very angry. It is almost like a fire.
Well, can you... Are you in control of that anger, Godric?
General, I'm always in control of it. Just whether I choose to let it go or not. I've only lost it once. And it will not happen again.
What's got you angry? What are you afraid of?
That if you try to keep my brother from me, or you kill him, Minnie will die. Minnie will die. And we will see whose God is greater when their warriors fight. But I do not think that will happen. But it is still something that festers.
Well, why don't we test it a little bit now? And just like we've done before at camp, I kind of step into my sparring stance, just hands up. You said you were in control? Work it out. And I punch right at your gut.
Yeah, I take it. And I follow through and just one right to the center of your chest, not going for your head, just going right at your armor where I know it'll take the most impact.
I'll try to turn out of the way and deflect it a bit, though. Good. All right. I'll circle around a little bit. Start throwing light jabs here and there while we're talking.
Ulthion.
Is this helping?
Yes and no. They can't keep my brother from me. I hope you know that.
Don't think we're going to try to do that for very long.
They need... If he must go, then have him go.
Go as in leave?
Banish, whatever you call it.
I take a few steps back for a second before I re-engage. It's not that simple, Godric. There are laws in place. His actions affected me just as much as everyone else.
He was not himself.
I understand, and I hope that's true.
I've seen this before. There was another Warforged.
I'll stop. Guard goes down. Your last punch hits me square in the shoulder, and I spin out a little bit. What do you mean there was another Warforged?
Do you remember the talk of Bridget?
Bridget,
Not Bridget,
Old-
Jesus. Ah, God, names confusing. Patty and Brittle.
Brittle, yes.
Patty put her mother supposedly in the armor. I've seen her eyes red once when we were in hell. It's the only time I've ever seen it.
So you remember?
Oh,
was this before that battle ended?
It was during that. That's the only time I've ever seen it, but you'd have to, it's the only time I've interacted with.
Did Brittle turn on you?
No.
Then
But you do not understand. He would never do this.
And yet he has.
No. He did not. Something made him. There is a difference.
There is. There is definitely a difference, and the elves will see it that way too, as long as it can be proven that it wasn't him. I believe you, Godric.
He lacks, what is that word? And I kind of stop and kind of like hit my head to kind of like clear and think. Empathy. He doesn't, that is where his weakness is. It does not come with his desire to hurt his friends. It comes with him crunching and thinking about the differences between options and what is just going to be better in the end. This was not him.
I understand.
Even when he was threatened to be sold and taken, he did not react this way.
Back when you two first started traveling
Yes.
together? Before you were brothers?
Yes. He slowly has been regaining some of himself as we go. But this is not him. I know it.
Then what else is he regaining?
I don't know. He's made... Sometimes when we are sitting in our room, he talks of a calling. Something is pulling the Warforged almost, is what he said. He's mumbled it before when he's in his relaxed state. When my dreams fester or I have nightmares of what is to come.
Well, are you...
He mumbles
I need you to try. I know that this is not normally your style. I'm trying to listen to you, but I need you to understand perspective here. Look at the bigger picture. I get that this isn't him, but do you see the damage he has done? I'm not upset at Locke. I'm upset at the consequences.
I do not see the damage. You are fine. No one is hurt. He is wrong. He says that we can solve it by removing him. So the simple answer is, do not dally, do not hesitate. Take him from the problem. Nothing, I do not get where the law has been broken.
Well, you said yourself just now that something's happening to him. It has nothing to do with his proximity towards anything. If we were in Mindrathis tonight at that hour, it may have happened there. If we were in Ivalari or Lior, back in Bravatis, thousands of miles away, it still would have happened.
I'm sorry, but I believe him. When he says something here has done this, I believe it.
There is nothing here that could have done it.
Says, why? Why?
Says my faith in the Seldarine. I'll ask them if you'd like.
Do it.
I will.
Right here, in this tranquil fucking grove.
While he's still talking, I just drop to my knees, hands out, close my eyes, and start praying to the Seldarine.
I'm gonna back up to a tree and just cross my arms and look at him.
Again, I feel great. Lords
Anyone
of the
in
elves.
particular, or
I'm gonna start it out to the entire pantheon. I come to you asking for favors when I have not yet completed the tasks you have given me, and humbly I ask yet again that you give me guidance and wisdom. I do not need to explain the happenings, as you may not be omniscient, but you see and hear everything that I see and hear. My friends are confused and lost. Sayanine, under the light of your moon, hidden things are often revealed. If there is anything I should know that you deem I am worthy of knowing, please tell me. And then what is probably a very awkwardly long time for, at least for Godric, I'm just going to sit there in silence.
I'm just gonna look at old Theon, not breaking away, kind of tapping my arms.
Is the problem with Locke, does it lie here on Eridor?
so? In the quiet of the long evening and the night, there is quiet. Nothing but the sounds of the local wildlife, owls, wolves in the distance, the sounds of trees being uprooted, most likely caused by tree ants and moving through the forest. The flittering of a few fairies here or there kind of moving through the trees and out. There is in fact a sort of serenity. A light, bright, falls upon the tree in the grove, this massive oak. Orbs of light begin being pulled up from the tree. And then there is a crack of sound, and the clouds above the grove, when you look through the forest to the sky, part ways, and a light intensifies and hits the ground in front of you. After you kind of look away from the blinding light to see, there is a brilliant figure, this tall and powerful blue-skinned angel. Its wings outstretched, made of pure white and golden light, covered in elven armor. This figure kind of just stands there for a moment. and then walks forward over to you. And while you're looking up at him, leans down and whispers in your ear. But you can't hear what it's saying to you. You can see it's moving, and there is a sort of ambient emptiness, like almost like an innate whispering. And you know there's words being spoken, but you can't hear it. But there is two things that you hear very clearly. Infinite maze. And then as it turns and walks away to back into the light, it says one last thing very clearly. Aklaxia. And then the light disappears, and the angel is gone. The light retracts from the tree, back towards the sky. You're left sitting there.
Did Godric see or hear any of that? I guess I could just ask you. I, still kneeling, I reach into my pouch and pull one of the small gemstones that I use sometimes as currency, and I just put it forward onto a small mound of dirt, right in the footsteps of this angelic being, where it had tread. Thank you, wise one. Get up, dust the dirt off the knees of my armor, and turn and walk over to Godric. Are you okay?
Yes.
Well, wisdom of the divine is often riddles left to be interpreted by our own hearts. I think it's likely due to the Accords. If they tell us directly what to do or what is happening, then they are meddling. But did you hear this being, the angel?
I did not hear it, but I saw it.
Whispered something of the infinite maze.
It was too bright to see it. I just saw the wings. All the other details were lost.
Have you heard that, though? The infinite maze, or Aklaxia?
Fuck it, I'm gonna roll a
sounds
history check
familiar.
and see if I've ever heard of this shit.
We're working together on this. Clearly.
Are you? Clearly.
Yeah, as I'm
Clearly.
saying things out loud that might have to do with this term, Aklaxia.
Okay. Metal die on
Ooh,
table.
the
Metal die
table.
on table.
You're right. You're right.
Party foul. Party
We're
foul.
working together on this. At
Change
least,
places.
no matter what, you will roll better than what you just rolled, thanks
Oh
to
my
advantage.
Yeah.
Might do that during a one shot. We're gonna have a change
13.
places roll.
Change places.
That's fine.
You've heard Aklaxia called the City of Wizards.
I think when I was picking up Locke from this in Emirath, when he was studying, wasn't that the city of mages?
In Emrath.
Well, no. He was in the library studying, and when he was leaving, he was mumbling.
Well,
That name.
perhaps some of the other scholars might know more. I can check my book as well. Maybe the name is simply in a language I don't recognize. I may have heard of it before and not even know. I want you to take something from this, Godric. Your role in our group is to protect us and to destroy things in our path. My role with you is to explain the larger picture when you can't see anything but the danger in front of us. The gods owe me nothing. If they sent an agent to speak to me about Locke, it's because they want him to get through this as well. He has a part to play in my pantheon.
You hear Godric, I actually take a deep breath and kind of let it out. I hate thoughts. Thank you for reminding me.
Kinda
I say
reminding
kinda a lot. It's really starting to get to me, man.
Then I do not trust your pantheon, but I trust you. And I trust that you trust them. And you wouldn't endanger Locke without proper care. So please, I don't have much. I have 3 things. My desire to fight, my desire to protect Locke and all of you, and my desire to go home. I don't have anything else. Well, and there's a 4th one. And that's my desire to prove myself and prove to Crom that us Goliaths deserve recognition. For when I slay a dragon and stand atop one, I will force him to look. Those are all the things that I hold dear. Nothing else matters.
I don't think anybody here would deny that you love Locke more than most of those desires.
That is the problem, is that he's been doing more things lately that bother me.
That's what family does, Roderick.
If he wasn't metal, I probably might have broken something. Because sometimes he just is an idiot. And that is a lot coming from me.
Yes, well, as we've established, he's not being an idiot at this time. There's something else at play.
I know, and I'm worried. I've never seen him like that.
I don't
Ever.
know why sometimes it takes a while for me to understand what has just been told to me.
What?
Godric, I asked if it was this place or somewhere else, and they gave us a name of another place.
What does that mean?
It means that this place, that Eridor, my home, is not corrupting him or causing these issues.
It's another place.
Yes, a place we can go.
And kill them.
I'm assuming, yes, if it's people worth killing, of course.
If they did it, they deserve death.
Well, I mean, they did try to kill me then, right? I can accept that logic.
I'm just saying, if Locke killed you with a dagger, you deserve to die.
Anybody can die from even the smallest blade, Godric. Even you.
Then I deserve to die.
You're very lucky that dagger wasn't enchanted.
You don't understand. I've seen him try to wield a weapon before. It's like watching a 2-year-old with a spoon. It just wobbles and falls.
That's fair.
That's cute imagery. Just to bring something up, I don't want to get you angry again, but I'm sorry for what it's worth that I didn't side with you, but you need to know I never will, not when the other side is my wife.
I know, it is also your family, and I understand and respect that. But also respect the fact that he is mine.
Right. If anything official is to happen other than basic questioning, I will do what I can to include you in this, even if it means leaving the grounds. But for now,
I almost want to be there.
when
If Locke, I'm scared if he does it again.
as am I.
Because if I need to, I can hold him to whatever needs. I can be the thing that takes his whatever it is
Perhaps it's best if he does it again that you don't have to deal with that. But I understand your desires. Perhaps
But
when things have calmed a little bit, I can convince Aethwen to rethink her position. But for now, I, of course, would enforce her ruling.
I'm staying here, I believe.
In the woods.
Yes.
Alright, well, I don't have enough time to give you all the reasons that's a bad idea, and you won't listen anyway, so I'm just going to say, just because it moves and is scary looking, it might not be the bad guy here. Also, if it's small and has wings, don't listen. And lastly, don't talk to, just don't talk to anyone but me or Trin.
Who else is going to be out here?
The magics here are older. The connection to the Feywild is thin in certain places. I want to go so far as to say you're easily fooled, but...
I just want to say that you said it's thin here. And he said there was a problem. It sounds like you just answered his statement. That's all I'm saying.
The Feywild is... The barrier between the two is thin.
It would have no effect on him?
Not in that way, no.
Fine.
Well, trust the process. I know that might be hard for you. You've been to a lot of corrupt and darker places, but here, every one of the elves here worships the light and truth of Glorindel and the rest of the Seldarine. And if they're worshipping, even if you consider them soft, gods of truth, then they'll try to do the right thing.
Fine. But I think it is good that I stay away from everyone. I am
agree.
on edge. I know that. So I came here and did not go into the city.
If you need someone to spar, though.
No.
It'll be over soon. And I will uphold the law, but...
Has someone ever told you something that at first you did not agree with? Things change and happen and you slowly begin to agree?
No, I was born with an intense amount of knowledge and confidence, and I've never needed to train, practice, or learn anything. And I wink.
That is bullshit. What? That's not fair.
That
Is that how all elves are?
No, Godric, it was a sarcastic joke.
Oh.
So, as again, don't talk to any of the beings out here. You might say, like I say, don't mean this as an insult, but you are easily fooled.
It's because I expect people to say what they mean. When they don't, I'm just confused.
Oh, yeah.
People just need to be direct. It's easier.
Fair. All right. Sorry. Off track. Yes, I have had those things occur to me before.
When I spoke with the being that is in the runes, it said there was a reason we were put together.
With the being...
The dragon.
Oh, yes.
It said that the reason we were paired is because I also had the desire to conquer, just do as they do. And I have felt that desire more now than ever.
Right, and you choose to point it in a constructive direction.
As much as I can. But I don't know. I think I know what I'm going to do tonight.
Sleep, right?
Maybe. But I will not leave.
All right. I'll look past some of the trees. Katarina, you're welcome in the estate. Or if you plan on staying here with Godric, I can have some supplies brought. This is not necessarily the best place to go camping, though.
You don't hear a response, but you do see the shadow of a large dog-like creature kind of roam at the edge of the forest.
Well, she'll be fine. That, by the way.
What?
That, no, you probably didn't see it. Hound?
I look over.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Shadow. Anyway, that would be magic I would consider weird or corrupting. damaging in some way. And Katarina's handling it just fine.
Oh. Dang, fair enough. But still, I don't like it. Either way, go
No,
back
I don't
home.
like any of this either.
Go back home.
Right?
I would like to be there at the trial.
Yes, if there is a trial, it could simply be questioning. What's
I
your
have been
what's
him-
the
I
word
have-
in common? Sort of like a almost like a deposition.
I have been with him the longest. Out of everyone. I don't know if me stating that this has never happened before. Ever. Even when fighting, killing, anything, this has never
Right.
happened. So
I know,
if
you've said
that
as
stands
much.
for something, I would like to say it for those to hear it.
Whether or not it stands is out of my control, but I'll give it the room to try.
Thank you.
Of course.
We'll stay here. It's a good place to not want to.
He kind of pops his neck and kind of just walks to the center and just plops down.
I'll be fine.
Oh, I'm not worried about you. Just don't break anything else. Don't do more damage than
I
Locke
won't.
already has.
I won't do anything unless it attacks me.
You do understand the perspective of the elves, right? As far as he might not have hurt me, but he's hurt our position here. In some form, you understand that, right?
No. No one was harmed. You're fine. Just shows that your armor is good and you are ready for it.
If you come home before slaying your dragon, no one's harmed. You're fine, right?
No.
There are internal wounds.
No, there's just an oath. I was given these for a great hunt. I was given these to prove our worth to Crom. That is why they are given. And I do not go back home because my father has shamed my family enough.
I turn to walk away, put my hand on your shoulder while you're sitting in the clearing.
I just look you in the face, though.
We'll get to the bottom of everything. Don't question yourself or the direction here. Not everything is some great sign of the grand picture. Sometimes there are just mistakes and outliers. And I'll walk over and pick up my sword and shield.
I will simply rest and take the tranquilness of this in.
Enjoy. I'll head back to the estate.
As you're leaving, Godric says one more thing.
Well, Theon, I'll probably be leaving back to the tavern. I realize I need to breathe, and this is a good place to do so. Afterward, I'll be going to the tavern and being on my best behavior.
I think that's a pretty wise decision, Godric. Well played.
Swear if someone hits me, though.
But he's going to strike you.
And I'll kind of, son of a bitch, I will breathe and kind of relax for a little bit. I will calm down, take in the tranquilness of this grove, and
You're
then
doing good.
leave without wanting to punt a goblin.
You do kind of want to punt him, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I very want to punt the goblin. Hey, it works. It works. It works. So
This is our process.
Just practice speech in the mirror. You'll be all right.
You remember, as Locke has told you before.
yeah, just kind of breathe and calm down, and then head back to the tavern. And do my best not to piss off an elf.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay, good luck.
You breathed. They're mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As long as they're not mad enough to come here to talk to me, we should be fine.
What a bunch of assholes. I
Well,
hate elves.
elves are great.
So, Katarina in tow. It's less a tavern and more just a very small tap house, where the non-elves more or less come together. The Duststraw class kind of come together to almost celebrate their own heritages and their own connections to their own people together. There's a variety of different people here: humans, bugbears, goblins, but nobody really thinks twice of you or Katarina's presence, and they offer you basically the ability to kind of just sleep in the back. And they're like, well, we got a spot for you, but it's, not really, we don't really have guests here. So you're basically accepting like a place to bed down with equipment, but since you didn't really bring anything with you,
Well,
they offer you basically some straw beds out in the back. And they're like, well, you can stay here as long as you need to, especially as a guest of the Amadir household. We assume that they'll reimburse us at some point for the space. Or you can just
how
bust
much?
your ass for a day.
What do you need done?
Just general labor. They need wood chopped, they need the field plowed, they need work.
Give me work.
Sure.
Keep me busy.
Dainty little elven fire axe.
I'm-
Or a
I'm-
wood chopping
I'm-
axe. Just
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the was it the Chris Evans video? Just
oh yeah.
rip logs apart.
Rip
Not allowed
logs.
to have weapons.
Yeah.
How much damage do you think you could do with a fire axe?
A lot.
1d6.
Plus rage.
Someone's losing.
Sleep with the blink dogs, Goliath.
So
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd put me to work.
Locke, try as you might, you cannot get that thing to come back. That tower that collapses every time and rebuilds itself. But with a more clear picture of it, you're sure it's either something that you've heard of, seen before somewhere, and you can't remember the book, and you can't remember the legend. But you know somewhere in the deep amounts of lore that you have consumed over the years that there is some place that matches the description of this object in the world. A story about a tower that builds itself every night and crumbles every day. This thing exists somewhere in this world, but the memories surrounding it and the exact wording, its name, the place where it is, just evades you at every turn that you try to focus in on this information. Like trying to remember the last place you left your car keys. Just not going to happen. You're going to have to walk that path and go there. Or find out where there is. But you do know that that call is especially resounding. And when you saw it, it was extraordinarily clear that there is some part of you that needs to be there. And this is what you glean through your meditation and time spent going over your book. You also, it took you a little bit longer than usual because you were trying to be low key about it, but you did finish putting that teleportation circle on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Until next Friday.
What?
No! I was.
What?
Oh, what about my thing?
No, we
Do I
refuse.
do the thing?
We refuse.
No, it's too bad.
Fucking refuse.
Too bad.
We refuse.
Too bad.
All in
We will
favor
wait till
of-
Terra's here
Oh.
next Friday, and we will
Oh,
continue.
fuck, why does he have to have
Heartstrings.
leverage?